Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Know the Right People, the Influencer Community Way to introduce you, our community, to some great people and talk about great people. Oh my gosh, I am so honored today. We have Tish Times with us today. Tish, welcome.
Yay. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk to you today, Ruth.
Oh my gosh. Well, we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago, and I just said to you, you know what, you just have to come and be on our Meet the Right People program because you are one of the right people to know when it comes to networking and customer sales. And so I said, oh gosh, I know there's so much wisdom that you can impart today. So thank you for agreeing to do this.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
So let's get started. First of all, tell us a little bit about your background. Like, where did you grow up? Where do you live now? Just, kind of like fill us in on the Tish Time story.
I can do that. So I am a Texas native, proudly. I grew up in El Paso, Texas. I currently live in Phoenix, Arizona. I've been here for almost 7 years, which sounds crazy to think it's been almost 7 years now. I am married, matter of fact. On Sunday, I'm renewing my vows to my best friend in the world for 25 years. And we have 3 men. I can't even say 3 kids anymore. We have 3 men, and then we have 2 grandbabies. And I don't know, my story is simple yet complex in that we're very busy, but we're busy doing things that we enjoy very much. We're both in ministry. We love to hike, so we spend a lot of time in the mountains. So we live in the perfect place for that. And we love the beach. So we live in the desert, so we go to the beach, which next week we're going to spend a week on the beach for our anniversary.
Oh my gosh, how nice is that?
Yeah,
Well,
super excited.
I didn't realize that you were born and raised in Texas. My mom was a Texan as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
very good.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's nothing like a Texas girl, my mom used to say.
right. I agree. I absolutely agree.
So tell us a little bit about your business.
Absolutely. So I have been in business. I just celebrated 10 years in June this year.
Wow,
Uh,
congratulations, 10 years.
Thank you. And that's 10 years with this business. I've been an entrepreneur for nearly 20 years. I started my first business, years and years back. But currently, I teach sales and networking to entrepreneurs, to sales leaders, to network marketing companies, and to sales teams. And I love what I do. I get a chance to help even the most introverted entrepreneur or sales professional to find their space, to find their groove, and having conversations that convert and allow them to really enjoy the work that they do. I remember feeling like when someone told me I had to sell, feeling that feeling of anxiety and I don't want to say anything, I don't want to sell to anybody, and helping people to know how to communicate in a way that's really authentic to them so it doesn't feel like sales. So it's a lot of fun getting to do what I do and seeing the results and seeing how people are able to just kind of relax into it, but have tremendous results in their business.
Hmm. Well, you and I met about 5 years ago, as I recall, at an E-Women luncheon event in Phoenix, I think.
Yes.
And I remember we were lunch mates. We were seated at the same table. And I was just so fascinated by all that you did. I know that you have written books. I know that you were a public speaker. I was like, oh my gosh. And so I mentally put you in my back pocket. And I said, someday I'm going to get hold of Tish and we're going to talk some more. And so when we spoke again a couple of weeks ago, I was just so impressed by all that you do and your commitment to helping other entrepreneurs in something that is often very difficult to do. I mean, you think as an entrepreneur, you'd be like an extrovert and you'd go out and you just, make a lot of money and have sales and all this. But the truth of it is, a lot of entrepreneurs are introverts. And when you hear the word sales to an introvert, they would rather, like, they want to run kicking and screaming.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're absolutely right. And I love that only because I've been there. I got tricked into sales, Ruth. I did not raise my hand. I wasn't interested. I was very content. Back in my first, phase of life, I worked in the staffing world. And I had a coach, I'm not a coach, I had a boss at the time who wanted me to go into sales. She saw something in me I just didn't see in myself, in all honesty. And she kept asking me, and I was like, oh, no, 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 no. I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to do that. No way. And I was very comfortable in my cubicle. I was filling positions, putting people in jobs, and I was good at it, and I loved it, and that's all I wanted to do. And so she created this position, and they called it what did they call it? It was basically a go-between between the sales department and the operations department. And it was a performance manager is what they called me. And I was like, oh, I have a title? And I took this position not realizing that she was easing me into sales and really showing me how easy it was for me, because I just love talking to people. And before you know it, I was taking over some of the routes for the salespeople, and I was making sales. And now I look back and I'm full on in sales. So when I can help people who have that same feeling I had of like fear and dread and anxiety, it's just communication, it's just building relationships, and it's just being yourself. It takes all the fear off the table, and they're able to do it. So I love it.
Yeah. So I bet you have fond memories now of your boss, who was kind of like, she
Oh,
kind of almost
yes.
tricked you into, she saw something in you that was bigger than you.
Yeah, and I'm so
Yeah.
grateful to her. We're still connected, and I still tell her every couple of years, I'm like, thank you so much. You changed my life. I would have never voluntarily gone into this, but I'm so grateful because all of the people that I've been blessed to help are a result of, her name is Margaret Dunwoody. Margaret Dunwoody changed my life.
Oh, shout out to Margaret. Yeah.
Right?
Isn't it wonderful to have somebody like that that knows you better than you know yourself, though?
Yeah, yeah. And it's interesting because I think that many of us don't see all of our own strengths. We see our comforts, but we don't always see our strengths. So we always need, or often need, someone, whether it's a role model, a mentor, a boss, to kind of pull that out of us. And I love that I get to do that for lots of people now.
Yes, right, absolutely. So you have written several books, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
Yes. What
Yes.
is it inside of you that is able to put a book together and to sell that book? What's the magic formula there? Because
Okay,
I
I'm
know a
going to
lot of
give
people that would like to be doing books, okay?
I'm gonna give you the magic formula, and you're gonna be amazed at how easy this is.
Okay.
Because for years, I'll be honest with you, I still have a book I've been writing for 8 years, and I'm not finished with it. And the reason I believe I'm not finished with it is because it's more of a personal book. It's not a business book. It's kind of my story. A lot of people don't know that my first marriage was very abusive. I just have a lot of things that I'm sharing in that book. So I've been struggling with that one. But my business books, they come out easily, and I'll tell you why. And anyone in business, listen to this, it's going to blow your mind. I do consistent content. I do videos regularly. I do social media posts regularly. I do blog posts regularly. So when it's time for me to write a book, Ruth, I never sit down and write a book. I compile all of that content, have it edited, and here's my book. Literally, I do not, I have sat down and written a book, obviously, like the one I'm talking about, but all of my business books are a compilation of all the work I do every single day, which makes it so much easier to do. And anyone out there who's been writing content, you already have a book. You just have to find someone to help you put it together, period.
Wow, that, you know what, that just speaks volumes to me, because I know of a lot of people that are now doing, social media, online things, and they are doing, content, whether it's about sales or whatever it is, they're doing it
Right.
all of the time. And that's how they're really gaining audience back. And,
Yeah.
stopping and thinking about that, it's like, well, if you already have all of that content and you can have somebody, take it in and make it nice and pretty and put it in a nice book, how much
Done.
better is that?
Done.
Wow.
So much faster, and it takes a lot of the pressure off. And interestingly, the time, because I've had times in my business where I wasn't producing content consistently for whatever reason,
Mhm.
I realized the moments that I also lost, the opportunities that I lost. So it's like I have people in my business, both, support team and coaches that help me to stay consistent in those areas. So when it's time for me to create a course, when it's time for me to create a product like a book, or anything like that, I don't have to start from scratch. It's like that constant learning, constant pouring, and then just put it together. Now you have a package, now you have a book, now you have a course, and it's so much easier.
Mm-hmm. Makes perfect sense when you say it, right?
Right.
Yeah. Wow, that's great information to have. Well, I always ask as my final question to people that are being interviewed for our program. So, what's one piece of advice that you would give to an entrepreneur just starting out?
I would say, number one, be very, very clear on the purpose for the existence of your business. Some people might call it your why. Others might say, know your core values. Because, I mean, over the last 10 years, and I say even beyond that, my years as an entrepreneur beyond that, there were so many times where I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Where I look at our bank account and go, oh my God, I got to go get a job, or, something would just be so difficult. It just felt easier to quit. And having that, and for me, I'll say for me, it has to be very personal, because though, when you get to the income goal, what then? Some people might say, my goal is to make $1 million. Well, when you make $1 million, are you going to quit? What are you going to do? Mine is, I have amazing men, my young men, my sons, and I love them so, so, so much. And they're a big part of my why. But I have this little granddaughter. She's the only little girl in my family in 17 years. So there's only this one little girl. We've only had boys otherwise. But when I think about her, and the example that I want to set for her, to know that nothing is impossible, to give her the framework for life, if you will, it gets me going every single time. And if I moved far enough aside, you could probably see, I can't get out of the way enough. There's a picture of her right back there, that little cute face.
Oh,
that just makes me say, get on it, girl. Get the phone calls made, get the content done, get the book written, because I want her to look and say, she did it. Number one, financially, I want to set her up, if you will, to be in a position where she doesn't have to want for anything. But I also want to create an example for her to know that she can do anything she puts her mind to.
mm-hmm.
So if, as entrepreneurs, we come with a why that gets us up, that wakes us up in the morning beyond our alarm clock, that makes us go a little bit further, that helps us to never quit, that for me is huge. Now, there's a lot of nuts and bolts and skills and things that we could talk about, but that's the one thing that kept me going when I really wanted to quit.
I love that. That is a true family story.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
So if our viewers want to get hold of you, if they want to talk to you more about your business, or perhaps have you help them in their business, what are some ways that we can get your information to them?
So the easiest thing is to go to tishtimes.com.
Okay.
And if they're interested to figure out, well, how do you work with people? There's a place that says Work with Tish. And there's our Biz School, which is a business school focused on sales principles. There's some one-to-one opportunities, and there's some done-for-you programs are done on your own programs as well. So tishtimes.com, you can reach me there. You can find out information about us. You can join things there, all of that.
Perfect. Okay. So I just want to say thank you again for a very, very informative and fun interview today. You just warm my heart in so many ways. So I really appreciate you doing that for us, Tish. And have a great anniversary. Renew your vows, and go to the beach.
I am. This will be the first time I probably leave my computer at home. I am so excited.
Now that's serious. When you leave a computer at home these days, that is serious. Good for you. Well, thank you again. It's been a pleasure, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks.